I mean, this kitchen is nice, but it's a bit linear. So what if we just took the sink and shoved it over there into a corner out of sight? We'll just move our stove out, then we have a better view from the camera. I think that's a great idea, so why don't we just go ahead and... Wow, that is much better. And it comes with a free bottle of rakija. Now this is an upgrade. You want to take a shot?
Sure.
I mean, we can't let it go to waste. It was for free after all. Ooh. Živia, 100 godina, ako ne više.
Živia. All right, time to cook.
It's time to cook. Hey everyone, welcome back to Chef Tyler's Croatian Kitchen. I'm Chef Tyler, and today we're going to start our series of videos on soups. Soup is the Croatian answer to everything. It's a little cold outside? Have some soup. Long day at work? Have some soup. Not feeling well? Have some soup. Well, and a shot of rakija. I think rakija is probably the second answer to everything. Soup, rakija, that's all you need according to Croatian grandmas. So we're going to start today with the most basic of soup, Goveđa Juha, or beef soup. This soup is everywhere. You can have it at home, you can have it at a restaurant. I've even gone to weddings and they serve it to you there. This is the most popular soup, and so today I'll show you how to make it. The ingredients, of course, are very simple. We have beef bones. I actually managed to get these for free. If you just go to the butcher and ask them for bones for soup, they'll know exactly what to do. And I have been told they usually do give them to you for free since they do want to get rid of them. In addition to our beef, we're going to have vegetables. We have 1 onion sliced in half, 3 carrots sliced up, 3 cloves of garlic smashed, 1 celery root cut into pieces, and 1/4 of a celeriac also cut into pieces. We have parsley for some flavor, as well as salt and pepper to taste, and serve with soup noodles. The whole process will be very similar to RAH-key-uh, however, we're not going to be putting meat into our soup. We're just going to have the bone broth, and we're also going to go for a more clear soup. With the RAH-key-uh, we didn't really care too much if it was going to be dark and maybe a little cloudy. We were adding a bunch of stuff into that soup. It didn't matter. This soup we want clear, so we're going to take a few extra precautions when it comes to keeping it clear, and that includes getting rid of the scum. So I'll show you the traditional Croatian way of dealing with this. So let's head on over to the stove and we'll begin. So over here at the stove, I've already gone ahead and put some water into our pot. You want cold water, nothing else in it, and we're just going to simply put our bones into the pot so that they are covered, so the water covers them all. If you need some more water, of course, go back to the sink and add some in. And we'll just turn the heat on to high and let this come up to a boil. When it comes up to a boil, we're going to dump the water. That's going to get rid of all the scum. Fill it with new cold water. Bring that back up to a boil before we add in our vegetables. So I'll see you when it's time. As the water comes up to a boil, you'll start to see along the side these small white bubbles. That is your scum and what we're trying to get rid of. So just keep an eye on it. Once it comes up to a boil, we're going to pour everything out and get rid of all of the scum. All right, now you can see all of the protein coming up to the top. Let's turn off our heat, and we're going to go and dump all of this out. This is what we do not want in our soup. Just dump everything out down the drain. Slowly, slowly, slowly. If you have a sieve, it would be easier to use just dump everything into the sieve. However, my sieve is currently in use. There's some still left along the side of the pot, so we're just going to take some fresh water and make sure to clean that all off. Make sure we're always using cold water. You don't want to use warm water. We want to get everything out of there. And you can do this a few times to make sure you get all the scum out. Once all the scum is out, fill back up with cold water and set back on the stove. Now that everything has been cleaned out, I put some new water into the pot. It is nice and clear. We're going to turn on the heat and bring this back up to a boil. We'll also go ahead and at this point add in our vegetables. We'll leave the parsley off to the side at first, and we'll just pour everything right on in. And take the parsley, just the leaves, and add them to the side.
With everything back in the pot, we'll just go ahead and add our seasonings, salt and pepper. First I'm going with some fresh cracked pepper, and then I'll just throw in a little bit of salt, maybe something like a tablespoon or two. Remember, we don't want to over season at the start because we can always add more later and we can't take it out.
And once it comes up to a boil, we'll turn the heat down to low and let it simmer for 2 hours at a minimum. You can go longer, you can get more flavor extracted from the bones the longer you go, but a minimum of 2 hours. So, since we have some time, I thought we could go ahead and open up a nice bottle of wine and enjoy while we wait. Żywia. After at least 2 hours have passed, it is time to remove all of the vegetables and the bones from the soup, and we're going to cook the noodles. So, as it's been cooking, you should taste it to make sure that the flavor is where you want it to be. Obviously, longer is always going to be better, but like I said, the minimum is for 2 hours. When you get the flavor to where you'd like, we're going to turn off the heat. That's the burner to use. And first we'll just remove the parsley, since it's pretty easy to, and that's why we have it leaning off the side. And leave there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pour the soup through a strainer into a separate bowl. The reason we're going to put it into a separate bowl is so then that we can cook our soup noodles in the soup whilst draining everything out so it doesn't overcook. So we're just going to put around the pot the holder, and we're going to go into our other pot. If you want, you can do this over the sink to prevent any spillage, but I'm feeling confident, so we're just going to go for it. Make sure we get everything out. The bones too, everything. And all the vegetables. There we go. Once everything is out, we'll just hold the sieve and let everything drain into our other pot. We'll just turn the heat on to keep that nice and warm and almost at a boil. Once all the soup has come out, we'll just leave the sieve over our other pot and let everything here cool down. We're not going to use the bones anymore, so you can just go ahead and toss them. And when we're done, we're going to take our vegetables, particularly the onions, the carrots, and the parsley root, and put it back into our soup. So once our soup comes up to a boil, I'm going to add in our soup noodles. Mine take about 2 minutes to cook. Cook them for that long, and then we're ready to serve. So I'll see you right then. So I went ahead and picked this up at the store. This is beef soup in a packet. It's probably what most people make because it's super quick, it's super simple. It comes with noodles and it comes with a bouillon cube. All you do is add it into boiling water and there you have your beef soup. It's much more easy to do rather than go through the whole process of having the bones and the vegetables in its own pot going for 2 hours. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of a taste test. I'm gonna make this. I have some water boiling on the stove already next to our real soup, and we'll just see which one is better. So after your soup noodles have finished cooking and you've put the vegetables back in, you are ready to serve. The vegetables that I put back in are basically everything that we had except for the garlic, because at this point the garlic has given everything that it needs to and it's really just turned to mush, so you don't want that in your soup. We have here now our soup that we made, and over here we have the soup that we got from the store. So it's time to do a taste test. I have 2 bowls, exactly the same, 2 spoons, also exactly the same, and 1 ladle, but I don't think that's gonna matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and serve my own soup first. Let's go and get as much of the vegetables that we can, but really what we're looking for is the broth. The broth is the star of the show. It's nice and clear, which is why we did the boil at the start, and it's not too fatty at all. A little bit, because you do want a little bit of flavor, but not overly done. Don't want to spill that anywhere. And before I forget, I'm just going to go ahead and serve the other soup, because I don't want to worry about it later. I don't mind contaminating the other one with our soup. I feel it's better to do it this way than the other way. So we'll just get ourselves a nice spoon, nice couple ladlefuls. I'm trying not to spill everything everywhere. Get some extra broth. And here we have our two soups. Visually, the differences I noticed from the two soups is that the one that we made is a lot clearer, and of course it has the vegetables in it. The other soup looks a bit darker, but you can definitely see some herbs in it as well. The noodles are different, but that doesn't really matter. The biggest thing that I can really see is just the color. Ours is clear, it's not cloudy, exactly what we were looking for. This one is a little bit more yellow. Not a bad thing, of course, just a different style of soup. So why don't we go ahead and give both of these our taste for Greg. I'm just going to focus on the broth, since that's going to be the most similar between the two. You can tell that everything was fresh, everything was pure, there's nothing added into it. Overall, an amazing soup that you can have. Let's go ahead and give the store-bought soup our taste for Greg. Just the broth again. You want to be fair. This one is definitely more spiced. And spiced, I mean, definitely has a lot more salt, definitely has a lot more pepper. You can see some herbs floating around in there. Overall, I think the flavor might be stronger, but in kind of a weird, more industrialized, not as natural way. I still think this soup tastes a lot better. And if you have the time to go through and actually make the soup with the bones and the vegetables, that is the way to go. This is the soup that when you're sick will make you feel 100 times better. This may be 20 times. But there we have it. Goveđa Juha. Let's show the better one, because this one definitely wins. Dobar tek. In the meantime, I think we'll go ahead, open up a nice glass of wine, and enjoy it while we wait. I should have had a glass ready.